little offshore vessel or whatever it is being named over the Philippines. So there's a small win, small victory. But I love that story because it's big. I mean, they didn't set any clear boundaries. They didn't set any clear expectations with said maybe stakeholders or users or whoever else.
We see this again in the recent vote.
Huh?
Brexit. Yeah, we see this again in the recent vote. Big clear expectations.
Right. So I just like to share that story. So we're going to dive in and start talking about vision. Okay. We don't have a vision. Again, people come up with their own, figure it out by themselves. You know, no one really knows what they're actually working towards. So a vision is a guide for everyone involved in making the product a success. A vision should be what pulls people and motivates them to do the work, to be successful. And your ultimate reason for creating and maintaining your product. So Steve Jobs says, I'm not sure I'll read this, people can't see it. If you're working on something exciting that you really care about, you don't have to be pushed. The vision pulls you. Right? Again, you can't read, this is Elon Musk, Tesla, right? So, is it Tesla? Okay, got it. Question, yes, okay. So, the master plan is to build sports cars, use that money to build an affordable car, use that money to build an even more affordable car, while doing the above, also provide zero emission electric power, generate options, don't tell anyone. Right? So, I just like to do this one. Customers will never love a company until the employees love it first. If you don't love what you're doing, you don't care, right? Who loses? You lose, customers lose. So, here's this. Whose vision is this? To be Earth's most customer-centric company where customers can find and discover anything they might want to buy online. Amazon! To provide access to the world's information in one click. Google. To become the world's most loved, most flown, and most profitable airline. Southwest. To be a premier education, finance, software, and services provider to make educational dreams possible. Elved. Woohoo! Right? Does it pull you? Are you excited? So, good. I just want to talk about mission versus vision. A mission statement describes what a company wants to do now, and then a vision describes the future, where they want to go. Okay.
So where would we find, where would we find our product is that in
I believe some teams have them. All should. I don't know if there's kept any place with the team. No?
Our team charter.
Your team charter. Is that on your team site that other people can access? So, so maybe. Go ahead. Dan.
The new standardized dashboard is going to require that vision for the team.
There you go. Excuse me. So creating a vision. This isn't a plan, right? But the motivation that you talked about, right? That pull. Everyone must have the same vision. If you don't share that vision, again, everyone, you lose, the team loses, the customer loses, you know, and ultimately, if you don't share that vision, then I'm going to be a little harsh, go start your own company. You know, if you can't have that ownership, then I don't know what to tell you. Keep it short and sweet. What year, and everyone has one of these. Again, this is Roman Pickler's tool. This is an example of a vision board. And we're going to walk through it. It'll be an exercise. We love exercise. So here we go. So your company, this is going to be a tabletop exercise. So two companies are merging. Let's call them Great Lakes. very creative. I thought about this. What did Norfolk say in the shower? He was made the Look poised to be the sole servicer for federal student loan servicing. The FSA, Federal Student Aid, helps America's families access higher education as they meet the needs of 35 million borrowers. With this comes the desire to have all functions managed on a single servicing platform to provide all borrowers with a standardized, high-quality user experience. Makes sense? So your task now is at the table is to come up with a vision. Come up with a vision for this company. Right now. Well, if that's what your table, that's what your team decides, then okay. So take a few minutes, work together on a vision for this company.
I'm gonna go get a vision board.
Motivation? Sure.
Thanks, sir.
I guess our product yeah, you don't use a friend, yeah, you don't send them. Get 2 numbers.
Okay, guys, take about another minute or so.
It's not expected that we did.
No, just the vision. You guys are just filling out the vision.
Good, so far. We're doing
Okay, guys, who's got a vision that they would like to share? Okay, silence, guys. We've got people sharing. Thanks, Dwayne.
Excellence in student loan servicing for all. Excellence in student loan servicing for all.
We become the Amazon of federal student loan servicing, providing the highest quality student loan experience available.
Can people face the?
Here, stand up and say it proudly.
Nobody ever told me I was too quiet. To become the Amazon of federal student loan servicing, providing the highest quality student loan experience available.
To be the
Okay,
premier,
hold on, guys, hold on.
to be the premier educational loan servicing provider in the world.
So our vision is a simplified and convenient customer experience through state-of-the-art technology.
Nice. Nice. How did that feel?
Great. Really,
It's
really
a little hard, huh? It is hard. Can you imagine doing that by yourself? Would it make it easier sitting with 5 or 6 or 7 other people? Right? That's part of this, right? It's a collaboration. You know, ultimately, the owner, if it's on a team, it would be the product owner that owns that vision. But, you know, maybe with this GreatNet, it would be John Turner, who owns that ultimate vision, but he's worked with his board members or his other, maybe, hopefully he would work with us as well, right? So your vision that you just spoke about, you're not done. All right, I guarantee you it will change after this next exercise. So, product strategy. Product strategy now is looking at, you've got your vision board, it's looking at these next boxes and helping understand what you're doing and who you're building it for, right? Which then you'll go back, does that make sense? Does that feed into your vision, right? Because if it doesn't align, then something needs to change. So this is your high-level plan. Again, it's who the product is for, why people want it. If they don't want it, don't do it. Right? That's nonsensical. What the business goals are. Why would someone pay for this? So if you're coming to me, why would I pay for this? This will change as your product changes. So this isn't set. This you go back to. And then this ultimately, you have your vision, product strategy, which then feeds down into your roadmap. Okay? So your product strategy, marketing needs, who it's for, right? Why, who you're building this for, the users. Key features, your differentiators, excuse me, what are your 3 to 5 key things that you're trying to do? Not 25, what are your top 3 to 5 things? And that's what are here. You may have 25 and that's okay, prioritize those. And again, as you reflect on this and this changes, these may shift in and out. And then your business goals. How does this benefit the company? Does this help another service in the company? Are you building on something? You're replacing something? You know, I don't know. You know those answers, not me. But having a clear goals to understand what you're doing this for. Okay. We talked about this yesterday. I don't have a crystal ball. If you, can I use it? Can you tell me some stuff? We need to start with what we know today, right? We can look at history, we can look at some of the information and make some guesses, but we can pivot and move along if they're wrong. Okay. Here's your old school. You have an idea. You spend 6 months researching that idea, right? And now you have a product strategy. What we want to do is just-in-time stuff. This is why this will change. Your product strategy will change. So you create your initial strategy, test it out. If it's not flowing, it's not working, then change it. Right? Understand why you're making a change. Don't just change for change's sake. Someone said that yesterday. Right? What matters most? So what we're going to do, okay, moving from left to right, look at the middle boxes starting with target group. We're not going to worry about competitors and revenue streams and cost factors and challenges yet. We're actually at all today. But moving from left to right, again, this is a tabletop exercise, work with your team, and then look at, so fill out the target group, your needs, your products, and your business goals. Just take a few minutes to do that. And then have the conversation and go back to, does this still align with the vision that you looked at? Take a few minutes.
We were talking about and I guess I just also
Monopolize decisions.
I was going to say something just, yeah, I guess it's those educational. Yeah, all kinds of but then we also offer and then also
business goals, how is the product going to benefit? What are the business goals?
And it includes bread and.
Guys, take about another minute.
Established a good relationship. Where are That's what we provide.
So the needs is.
I wonder if we'll have some little thing at the bottom that says you can build like power.
Other layers in the
He's thinking about it.
Okay, guys, let's bring it back together. Any observations anyone wants to share? Did anyone's vision change based on what you started asking about?
I think one of the parts we realized right away is that this product has many different targeted groups. It's not targeted to one group. So it makes for some different challenges of how you have a vision for something that needs to satisfy very different needs between the different targeted groups that you have to please.
Absolutely. Right? So you may have your executive level that's kind of looser, and then your product may go down to your specific group, and you have another one that's more dialed in, potentially. What do you think about doing this solo versus again in the group? Yeah. Better in the group? More ideas. You guys come together and you feel some ownership, some sharing, right? You kind of shared what you did. Right? That's a big piece of this. Now, ultimately, and I'm going to talk at the team level for just a second. Ultimately, the product owner owns this. But what a crappy job to do this by yourself, right? So use your people, use your teams, use your peers to help do this, right? Create that shared vision, create that, so those shared goals. So everyone's on board. Ultimately, yes, Rodney or Scott as product owners own it, but it feels better doing it as a group.
If the team doesn't buy in, the team is not going to succeed.
If I just go, hey guys, I came up, here's the vision, here's our strategy, go. It's kind of telling, right?
The last 40 years of
Absolutely. So the next steps you would do, put it to the test. Right? Again, you can do further interviews, you can talk to more team members, you can talk to other teams. Oh, you made me wrong. That's okay, right? Pivot. Change big part of that is be open about it. Have the communication. And then just some other tools. This is Roman Pickler's tool. That I just happen to like this one better. But the business model, the canvas, they do the same thing, right? Helping to identify your vision and your strategy. So, everyone clear on vision and product strategy so far? Why they're important? Okay, roadmap. So we're going to go over this August 1st. We're going to go over this August 15th. We're going to go over this August 30th. Sound familiar? So roadmap just describes how your product's likely to go over time. Facilitates learning and change. How do you think it does that?
Something to look back and reflect on, and you can measure, well, how close were we, how frequently did we have to pivot?
Absolutely. Are you still on target, right? And not meeting dates, but are we still delivering what is needed? Helps communication. I know as a product owner, I love this tool. So it helps me communicate saying, hey, I know, 3 months out, this is our goal. And as we get closer, we can have the conversations. But when you throw a wrench at me, I can say, well, I have this roadmap, and now you've thrown this wrench. Here's how that affects this, right? So it's just another tool. And that's the setting expectations. This is strategic, okay? This doesn't have user stories in it. This doesn't have epics in it. This is a strategic thing. This is, and we'll talk about this here in just a minute, but these are maybe our features, our goals. Now you can, as you're planning this out, you can come up with those things, not a problem. They just don't belong here. And again, the team level is owned by that product owner. With advice, with conversations from stakeholders, teams, whoever you need. And then again, what we talked about earlier, it supports the product strategy and ultimately the vision. So there's that shared goals again. So I want to talk about these two different roadmaps for just a moment. So having a feature-based roadmap, we're going to deliver feature A, B, C, D, right? Whatever that might mean, I don't know. Make it up. We're going to deliver login. I'm locked out. Change my password. Whatever else. Versus talking about what I think Chris just talked about, having a goal, and then maybe some of those things that align with that goal. And things can change. Why do you think this might mitigate conflict for agile teams who only commit a few weeks at a time? Doing, say, a goal-oriented roadmap. Yeah.
Because you may be able to accomplish goal A with only feature A and B, and maybe C and D don't make it into the sprint.
Yep.
For that quarter or whatever.
Yep. It also helps. It helps to align. It helps to get away from, well, we have to deliver all this stuff. Whereas a goal might be, I just need to log in. So that might just mean feature A1 and A2.
It may also relieve the burden of having this big giant thing weighing on you that you have to get done.
Yep.
Instead of these little pieces. Oh, that's easy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Keep it simple. Collaborate. Right? We've done it today. Collaborate with people. Don't be afraid to say no. You may be working with your user. You may even be working with the team and go, well, I'm sorry, that I don't, as product owner, as team or whatever, I don't see how that fits. I don't see what the value is. How is that aligning to our goals? How is that aligning to our vision? Right? Use your tools that you've created to help support your decisions. This one, dates or no dates? That's just looking at your audience. With your team, you know, your product team or whoever might be delivering stuff, you might have dates. So it might help with negotiations. But if you're talking to your stakeholders, you may not have dates. You may have, here's quarter one, you know, there's no specific dates.
Could you clarify, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
the designs belong in the backlog, not the roadmap? Can you clarify?
Yeah, so design, stories, user stories, that doesn't belong here. Now it can be part of the
Okay.
conversation, but it's not out here.
Okay, so those items belong in the backlog to be brought into sprints, but
Yep.
they're not a part of the whole product roadmap?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Nope. But they come back up. Are we measuring stuff today? How do we know we're being successful? The dashboard, right? Customer happy. Maybe that's it. Sorry, Keely.
Did you achieve the desired result?
Right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Do we? Yeah. Do we?
His team does.
Right. So as we're looking
No,
at.
I mean from delivering value perspective.
Absolutely.
You know, you do a cost benefit analysis, you think it's worthwhile, you ever really go back and say, yeah, it's what? Or no, this is a waste of time.
Who's using this thing, right? So I was a product owner in a past company, and the team, one of the teams, it wasn't a team I was working with, but they came to me and they said, hey, we got this support ticket came in, and this is broken. And I said, well, who actually found it? And they're like, well, it was actually internal. We noticed it. It's broken. You know. And I said, well, who's using it? Well, we don't know. And so here, this is Aaron breaking rules, asking for forgiveness rather than permission. I said, well, leave it off. Just turn it off, and then we'll see what happens. You know, I left the company in 2014. You know, this was like 2012. No word. Still no word, right? It wasn't a measurable KPI, but it was a way of getting an idea of who's actually using this and who needs to fix it. You know, I don't recommend that, but that's what I did in that scenario. Or maybe I do recommend it. I don't know. You can question me later. Huh? Right. Right. So if we're doing something for the web, that's the world I came from, so it's easier for me to talk about that. How do we measure stuff? You know, is there a survey out there, or is there a question? You know, nothing's concrete, but you know, we can get analytics, we can put something saying, hey, how do you like this feature? I like it, or it sucks. You know, we can do different things. Look at your money. What made you neat? I'll be honest, most of the time it's not more people. Maybe it's tools. You know. And then go back, review and adjust this. This is something that evolves on a regular basis. You know, just like your product strategy. You can pivot, you can change things. Does this make sense? So here's a roadmap example. It's Pickler's. Like I told you at the beginning, I like this stuff. I'm biased. So those who can't see it, this is just an example of a product roadmap. Now this could be in an Excel spreadsheet. This could be tape on a wall if everyone's together. You know, this could be in a PowerPoint. I don't care where it is. The thing is, have it visible. Again, it's a tool. It's like your working agreements, your conflict protocol. It's a tool. It's a conversation piece. Or when that wrench gets tossed in. When FSA tosses something. When, you know, we have to change based on ATO. I don't know. You have a date or not. It could be a range, which is what I like. I like ranges, you know, between here and there, based on our data, we're thinking. Then name it. Name your different releases. Make it fun. You know, we have iOS, right? Remember, it was an iPhone. Here's release 9.3, here's release 9.4, here's release 10. This is a big one. We've got brand new features coming out, right? It's not so fun, but it does differentiate between the different releases, right? Could be just bug faces versus whole new features. Oh, sorry, I pressed the wrong button. State your goal. We'll talk about that. The features that align with those goals. Your metrics. We really want to make sure we're doing the right stuff. If we're not doing the right stuff, we're paying for the wrong stuff. Right? Does this make sense? Again, just another tool out there for all of us to use. Be a part of. And use whoever you need to fill this out. Right?
Is there a purpose for the little guy with her in the corner there?
No, that's his thing. He puts it on all his stuff. I don't know. So yeah. Here's some mistakes. That roadmap you created, it's done. Ship it. It's a guarantee. We can live by it, right? Now, it'll change. We know it's going to change. And that's okay. But make the mistake that it's set. That's where we get into real big trouble. What you know today. It has epics and user stories. It breaks down that stuff into a granular level. We don't want it there. Because as we learn more, those things are going to change anyways. Correct? And it's a wish list. Keep your wish list out of this stuff. As product owner or whoever you might be as the owner, you can have that. That's fine. We can have that from the stakeholders, but keep it off to the side. Don't muddy the waters. Keep it